Vidim szép nap Magyarországon élni. A kutya életbe. Hello and welcome to Banat, a region located in the Carpathian Basin that also happens to be one of Serbia's 12 provinces. Located right across the Danube from Belgrade, Banat is one of the hidden gems of Serbia that often gets overshadowed by the more popular places such as Belgrade, Novi Sad and Niš. What makes Banat stand out is the mix of Serbian, Hungarian and Romanian cultures, with all of the mentioned people groups having significant things to do in forming the province as it is today. Banat is situated in the province of Vojvodina. Vojvodina in general is known as a multicultural part of Serbia with 26 distinct ethnicities inhabiting the region. The largest one of course being Europe's favorite bad boys, the Serbs, with a 65% presence followed by Europe's favorite steppe nomads, Hungarians, at 13, and Slovaks and Croats at 2.5% each. Unlike basic Serbia that only has one official language, Vojvodina has 6, them being Serbian, Hungarian, Slovak, Romanian, Croatian, and Rusyn, which you can find on government buildings. To start off our journey, we go 20 kilometers west of Belgrade to our first stop, the city of Pančevo. Back in the day, Pančevo was the home of the oldest Neolithic civilization on the territory of Serbia. However, today the city is known as Serbia's Chernobyl, as the city has the title of the most polluted place in Serbia, as it is the center of industrial production in the region. However, don't let that intimidate you. The bombs Bill Clinton dropped on Serbia annually kill more people from cancer from the depleted uranium that was in them than Pančevo does. So no need to worry. Anyways, Pančevo has several interesting sites, the most interesting one being the Church of the Ascension of Mary, which was built in the early 19th century, while Pančevo was still a part of Austro-Hungary, and it is definitely a sight to behold. Not far from it is also the Catholic Church of St. Charles Borromeo, which was built in the 18th century, which is a pretty cute yellow church. By it you can also find a gymnasium square where high school students that make poor life decisions congregate in one place known as the gymnasium, aka non-specialized high school for all of my American viewers. A 10-minute walk from there you get to the river walk of Pančevo that goes out to the river Temiš, that flows through Timișoara and merges with the Danube here in Pančevo. I gotta say, I've seen better river walks, but it still has a unique vibe, even if it isn't very aesthetically pleasing. By the river walk you can also find the arguably most famous building in Pančevo, the Vajfert Brewery. The brewery started working from 1722 when some guy from bumfuck nowhere in Slovakia decided, hey, why not open up a brewery all the way down in Serbia? So he did, and it worked for a whopping 286 years, all the way till 2008. Today there's a restaurant there where you can grab a bite to eat for above average prices. Generally the city isn't that amazing, but it has a unique mix of Austro-Hungarian architecture and Yugoslavian brutalism, which you can find all throughout the city, like here, here, and here. Moving on from Pančevo, we head on north to the second biggest city in Banat, known as Zrenjanin, or in Hungarian, Nagy Becserek. The first time this city has ever been mentioned was in the 14th century. The city would switch ownership between the Ottomans and Hungarians until finally in World War I it became a part of Yugoslavia. After 1935, the city's name changed from Becserek to Petrovgrad, as homage to King Peter I of Serbia. You can find his statue at the main square. However, after 1946, the commies decided that having monarchic names is a no-no and changed the name of the city into the mispronounceable hellhole of a name for foreigners, Zrenjanin, after the Yugoslav partisan national hero, Žarko Zrenjanin. Now, Zrenjanin, I would say, is the cultural capital of the region. While yes, Pančevo is the bigger city, Zrenjanin is the more developed one. Throughout it you will find numerous buildings built under the Austro-Hungarian times, which give off an amazing aesthetic. Arguably the most astonishing building in the city would be the city's assembly. The astonishing green building can be found right in the heart of the city overlooking the town square and pedestrian zone. The city assembly was built roughly 200 years ago in neo-baroque architecture style. To its right side you can also find the Catholic Cathedral, which is another beautiful building. While it is more simplistic in design compared to the assembly, the cathedral gives light to the main square with its bright yellow facade. The building itself was built in the mid-18th century and was dedicated to Prague's favorite drowned martyr, Saint Ivan Nepomuk. Why? I don't know, ask Maria Theresa, as she's the one who commissioned the church being built. Another amazing building would be the city's court complex, which is a beautiful building built in the academic architecture style, which incorporates 2 courts and a prison. Which, if you ask me, I wouldn't mind doing my time there. The court was built in the early 20th century, and today it is protected under the city as a cultural heritage site. By it you can also find the Reformation Church, which definitely catches the eye with its pearly white facade and neo-Gothic style. What's interesting about this church is that it holds the organ from Zrenjanin synagogue, which got you know what in the 40s, like most other Semitic places of residence, so there's that. Throughout Zrenjanin you can also find the Bega River, aka the Bege River, as it's known locally. Other than pleasing the eye and providing people with hydration, it also served as inspiration for the arguably most famous song to come from this region, Four Fat Horses, aka Četiri konja debela. Generally in Banat you will find old town songs which are very specific to this region, mostly because they will use the instrument known as tambura, which is a Vojvodinian version of a guitar. It's generally in a higher pitch and the songs are usually in a fast pace, followed by a slower one and then a fast one again. Moving on from Zrenjanin, we head on north again, to the city of Kikinda, or colloquially known as Nagy Kikinda. Now, Kikinda is one of those towns that not many people know of, but when they find out about it, they cannot help them but to check it out. First off, the city has beautiful baroque architecture and it has a cute little town square. The building that dominates the square is no other than the museum of the city, which has a bloody mammoth skeleton in the backyard which you can go and check out there for free. At the square you also have 2 churches, one Orthodox and one Catholic, both of which are very beautiful. In the center you can also find a town hall building, which is this big red one, also built in the baroque style. By it you can find 5 flagpoles, on which you can find the flag of Serbia, Kingdom of Serbia, Vojvodina, Hungary and Kikinda's own flag, which is a bloody lion holding a severed Turkish head in one hand and a sword in the other. And the coat of arms of the city is just a hand holding a sword with a Turkish head on it. I mean, come on, you can't get more base than that. In the city you can also find the 22nd prettiest street in the world, the street of General Drapšin, which is characterized by its roof made of tree crowns and colorful houses. A beautiful, beautiful place. There you can also find the Suvača, which is one of only 3 remaining horsepower dry mills in the entirety of Europe. It was built in the late 19th century and used up until 1945. The mill could use anywhere from 1 to 5 horses and it grind anywhere from 100 to 500 kilos of grain per hour, depending on how many horses were used. Today the building is put under government protection as a monument of cultural importance. A bit on the outskirts of the city you can also find Terra, which is a sculptural symposium located in an old military base. There artists from all over the world come and make sculptures out of clay that is found in the region of Kikinda. Much of the statues you can find exhibited throughout the city, and here you can find all of them. The best part about this place is the entrance is free of charge and you can also get a guided tour for the same price. Another thing the city is famous for is pumpkins. Once a year, every September, the city holds a festival dedicated to pumpkins. And there is a contest where people compete to grow the biggest pumpkin. The 2020's winner weighed over half a ton, almost as much as your mom. Another cool thing about Kikinda is it has the highest concentration of owls in Europe. Every winter, owls come to the city to mate, and from November till spring you can find them all throughout the treetops. And yeah, that would be Banat, Serbia's most northwestern province, filled with colorful history and people from all sorts of walks of life. And as always, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button, as next time we explore Serbia's capital, Belgrade, where I'll show you all of the depressing brutalist architecture and some less depressing baroque architecture. My name is Nick and you've watched Living Around a Clean Europe.
Jednog grba Kamila odmah se pomama.